Hello and welcome to Makala's Makala Podcast channel. Makala, meaning branches, Kasisuthu. My name is Amanda Masondo and I'm your host. We hope this podcast finds a way to impact, educate, and inspire your next. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and Buzzsprout. Basically everywhere where you find your podcast fix. Every first and last Friday of every month. Hello and welcome to Makala's podcast channel, Makala. I am your host, Amanda Masondo. And as per usual, please like and subscribe and be a part of the movement. Be a part of the nation that's growing. This is the Makala Podcast Nation. If you're listening to me right now, you are either listening in, it's the first or last Friday of the month. Come on. So you're up to date. You're up to date. It means you subscribed. You've clicked the little bell in the corner. It means you're up to date. You're with us. You're with us. As per usual, we're bringing you the best of the best. Some of the people who are doing amazing work in various spheres. They are trailblazers in their sectors. Today is no exception. I'm going to let them introduce themselves, right? I've got two guests. They're doing amazing work. If you think your kids need a little bit of help with any subjects, these are the people. Gentlemen, kindly introduce yourselves.
So my name is Bulelani. I'm a qualifying teacher, qualified civil engineer, and I'm assisting students as part of a tutoring company called We R Tutors.
My name is Phathu Nevhutanda. I am currently doing my educational psychology, and I am a qualified econometrician, and I am the co-director of We R Tutors.
We are tutors. Ladies and gentlemen, did you hear all those qualifications? Some of them pending, some of them already in the bag. This is what we're doing. This is what we're doing. Gentlemen, you did not always start off as these qualified gentlemen. So where did it all start? Give us your background. Where were you born and raised and how did you guys meet?
All right. So my story, I was born in Bloemfontein. So I'm a Xhosa gent.
Okay.
I'm a Xhosa gent, Marikabua, because I'm from Bloemfontein originally. Went to Irene Primary, went to Sutherland High School, and that's when I met my business partner over here. In grade 8, we sort of clicked because we had similar interests.
Yeah.
We were friends for a long time before we started business together.
Okay.
All right, born and raised in Johannesburg, parents originally from Nevhutanda.
Okay.
So similar to him, primary school, Springville Primary, Centurion. Met him in grade 8. Got really, really acquainted as we started aging, and just out of high school, that's when we started, right?
Yeah, out of high school, fresh out of high school.
My goodness. So people say don't match up business with friendships and family. You guys said no. We're going to do this. We're going to go all the way. Why?
I'll never actually forget the day we decided to start the company. We were at a party. So we were at one of our friends' houses and we were swimming in the pool. And then he tapped me. He's like, hey, we should start a tutoring company together one day, but we'll talk about it next week.
After the swim.
Yeah, that's essentially fresh out of high school. So it was the first party that we were having as adults over 18. And then we were thinking we need some cash and also make a difference, I guess.
Yeah. And then why did you guys think, why tutoring specifically?
Well, I mean, if you look at the industry, and it still, translates to this day, I think at the time, him and I were sort of freelancing. And what we saw is actually the companies that do it professionally don't really mimic us, but the customer base mimics, what we look like, our background. So we just thought maybe we could do this better and add a bit more flavor to it, especially because we are young and, we are, of a certain background.
Yeah. Okay. So when you started out, what were some of the subjects that you thought were your starter packs? Or did you guys just start with everything all at once?
So originally when we started, the main thing was getting a team.
Yeah.
So obviously we were the first two tutors. We thought to ourselves, we need people that are as committed as us, as passionate about, transferring knowledge, helping the youth. So the first thing we did before even advertising was train and hire people because as he mentioned, he was a freelancer, I was a freelancer. So we had somewhat tutoring experience from doing it on our own, getting a few clients here and there. So we wanted to be able, because we knew we couldn't cater for everybody, but we want to cater for everybody. We want everyone to feel or have our service touch them. So essentially we trained a team, a very small team at the beginning, and then started growing from Centurion as the base.
Okay.
So started sourcing from alumni of different schools and all our friends and family who we thought were competent enough. We gave them some training, and then we took it from there.
Sure. And the subjects?
So catering for subjects, we decided to cater for the subjects that we're all experts in. So I'm more so geared towards maths and science. And then if you hire a tutor that's geared towards maybe English, Afrikaans. So we had a tutor named Sabrina Armstrong as well. Shout out Sabrina. She was one of our very first few Afrikaans tutors. So we diversified a lot just to be able to cater for everything, because no challenge is usually the same when it comes to school. Kids are struggling with different things. So we cater for all subjects taught in South African schools.
Okay. And then how did you guys decide what was your customer pool, right? The dynamics. Were you focusing on high school, or was it primary school first and then you wanted to build it up from there? Or did you start from high school and then the sky was the limit?
Yeah, I think right out of the gate, we actually decided to go from grade R all the way up to rewrite. And I think that boded well for us in the future, because that still hasn't changed. Obviously, when a business is young, you take what comes. Yeah, you're speaking to a client, in a consultation. They're like, no, my kid is 5 years old, and we think, oh my gosh, are we gonna do it? But to his point, our tutors, especially in those early times, we could have a more synonymous relationship with them. So just guiding them around, what to do with a 5-year-old, and adding that to what you offer. So to answer your question, I think right out of the gate, we offered everything.
We offered
everything.
So we also had a lot of mentorship, I would say, from past teachers. My father's a qualified teacher with his master's degree. His mother is a qualified teacher.
Still currently
teaching. So I think that was a big boost for us, because I feel like family-wise, we say teaching is a calling. So we wanted to cater for everybody, in the sense that we didn't want to say no to someone coming in through the door. We wanted to be able to cater for them and help their child improve.
So I'm a little bit, for you guys seem so young, and education is seemingly looking like a career path that young people are not really looking into. They're looking at doing something that will lead them out of the country, if anything. So why did you guys decide on education?
Yeah, so pretty much like I said, with it being a calling. When we were freelancing, we realized obviously that this is something we're good at, based on the results that the students were getting, and the retention of client base. All the time, we would regularly have to assist children, and the kids would actually improve. That's what was the thing that was the motivating factor. Just seeing the looks on the faces of the students when you take them from mark, let's say, whatever it is, even if it's a 70, I feel like even assisting students that aren't necessarily struggling, for me, is my favorite part, because they have an understanding and they're just missing, key areas here and there. So it was just a passion that developed as we started working in the industry.
Okay.
I'd say furthermore, just eliminating that redundancy. You're seeing an older person in class, and somebody who doesn't necessarily look like you. What we saw was that, hey, listen, we were in high school a year ago, 2 years ago. We know, how much better it is being taught by somebody who understands me, that relatability factor of it all. But you are right in saying that, as an industry, not a lot of people think, oh, let me go to education, young people. I think, the industry is so broad, and, there's so many things being added to it. People just think, oh no, it's just being a teacher. No, there's so much more you can do. So I think, to your question, we can just, add more as young people in that industry.
Are you finding that in your search for finding people who are going to assist you, right, in achieving this goal that you guys have set for yourselves, are you finding that it's easier to, I know that you guys looked in-house, you looked at friends, you looked at family in order to get tutors, but are you finding that a lot of your peers are actually now interested, because you guys are doing this, are now interested in the career?
100%. So over the years, it's been about 6 years now since we started with a team of 10, begging people to come and teach these kids. Please teach, come learn, come be mentors to children. Like Phathu said, we're mentors because we mimic them. We were in their position not too long ago. We understand the challenges, the modern day problems of the modern day student. So over time, with social media, also our relationships with schools like Varsity College, UNISA, Educational Campus, we were able to source more and more tutors who are passionate about teaching, teachers themselves who are studying teaching. So that's why I also then enrolled, once finishing my qualification, for teaching, to get more experience and knowledge on what to do and how to, give the best possible service. So we have a team of currently over five 500 tutors, a
50.
database of
Yeah.
about 500 tutors, which we source from those particular schools nationwide, more so in Gauteng, Cape Town, Durban, and PE.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
Sure, you said at a span of what, 6 years?
Yes. I think
That-
furthermore, just to add to what he's saying, 5 out of 10 times the tutor is actually unsure. Oh, can I do this? And then, once, they go to the home or they have it online, they just like, I love this kid. And then
Yeah.
it's more than just, oh, I need to make money on the side. And it's like, then they understand that, I'm actually an older brother, older sister to this kid. So yeah, I think to answer your question, it's getting easier.
It's getting easier and
Yeah.
easier. Lovely. Okay, so let's talk about now entrepreneurship, right? So that's a different education is something that you guys clearly understand, you're passionate about, but the world of entrepreneurship is a world on its own. What do you guys find any barriers to entry when you started, just even at the inception of just registering a business, from starting from scratch? Were there any challenges, and what did you find simple that you didn't think was going to be simple?
Well, to answer your question on my side, I would say the thing that I would say with entrepreneurship that was a bit difficult was just being able to put yourself out there without the fear of being judged. I mean, when you start a business, everyone would tell you that you're going to fail, or you need to leave room for failure. I'll never forget, when we showed our websites to a couple of friends, families, at the time they were just saying, just be wary that most businesses don't make it past the 2-year mark.
Yeah.
So I was praying to God to
Let me
just make
show
it at
them,
least 2
please.
years,
Yeah.
at least 2 years. So I think from an entrepreneurship perspective, it was just the passion from our side of not wanting to look to someone else to provide for ourselves and our future kids and the future generations. So that was the motivating factor, to just be independent. And knowing what the job market is like in South Africa, we also knew that we needed to start very early if we didn't want to be graduates that are looking for jobs and having worked so hard. So we started early, looking at what we can do.
Yeah, remember, funny story, the week after the pool party, we made in McDonald's. I think we made like a quick budget. I think it was 2,000 Rand
2,000,
each.
yes.
Okay, website, and we're gonna be driving around and fuel and trying to convince our freelance clients that listen, I might have to increase your rate a bit because now you're coming into my company, and just learning around that. We didn't pay each other for like 2 years.
Yeah.
Just growing this thing.
So you're starting to feel like the parents were right. Everybody else, the friends that
yeah,
we could afford to pay ourselves.
Yeah.
It was just a
the
matter
discipline of the vision, I'd say, because if I think if we had just done that, it would be a blunder, because he's speaking now about 500 plus tutors. We have a similar amount of clients. I don't think we reached that without the discipline of cost saving. We have a website, but we need to upgrade it. We need internal login systems. So I think just being disciplined, understanding we 19, we'll be fine. But there's a greater vision at play here, and we need to make sure that, to his point, the future generation that comes from this is helped out.
And then what was easier than what you thought?
what was easy. It's a bit of a tricky.
People, you guys didn't mention it once. You guys are flourishing there.
Well, I think it's just our different skill sets made it a little easier when it came to managing people, because I mean I'm a bit of a people person. His organizational skills and soft skills are great, way better than mine. So it's just I had a partner, so he also had a partner. We balanced each other out.
Yeah, I'll say that. Yeah.
Okay. And then so now that the business is now up and running, right? It's growing, tutors are coming in, you don't have to work very, very hard to convince people to come and join you guys. What are you guys finding? What is the feedback that you're getting from the actual learners, right? I'm sure it's a very much an industry that relies on hearsay and what the next person said, and the feedback that they get. What are you guys hearing from your learners, and what is it translating into your general customer base?
I think the biggest thing for me, especially feedback when it comes from the customer who's not paying the learner. Yes, but for me, it's just I didn't know it was this complex, or I didn't know education could be this fun. Because from maybe age 6 to age 16, when they're coming in now, they're thinking, oh no, it's gonna be Mrs. Whoever coming to my house again. But we try our best to relate to them. One of the main things we do is we offer a free virtual consultation. So we have an in-house consultant, ask a couple of questions to the student. When the tutor first arrives, it's not even about academics. It's about where are you? How can I help you? What are your interests? What are your hobbies? Things like that, just to remove the stigma of, the teachers coming to the house. No, your tutor
Learning,
is coming to the house,
Mhm.
and they want to help you. We always say to parents, it's like having a personal trainer.
Mhm.
It's like when you go to the gym, yes, the equipment is there. Yes, you're going to school, but somebody who can say, no, rather do this, for your body type out, the same thing. So I think for me, that's what gives me satisfaction at a student level.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, I love how the mentorship side of it works, because most of the time what you find is we become mentors to these kids. They look up to us. Hence we ask around what they want to do in future, so that we can also give them career guidance on top as an added service. I mean, you pay an hourly rate, but now you have this person as a member of the household. So when Phathu is a tutor at the Ndlovu household, he's part of that family now, because he's visiting there every 2 days or every 3 days, depending on the routine, even if it's virtual. I love the fact that, even the tutors themselves, beyond us, when we were tutoring, and we still are, that they also feel like they're part of these homes. They feel like they have younger siblings, a younger sister who's in grade 2, a younger brother who's in grade 7. And then they play that role of being that older brother who's going to make sure that academically they have a support structure.
Lovely. Okay. So the business is running. It's successful. What do you think are some of the things that you think entrepreneurship are misguided about entrepreneurship, right? That people think it's easy, it's simple. You're your own boss. You decide your own calendar. What are some of the things that you would say, actually, take a break? I would list these things first before I consider starting entrepreneurship.
Definitely, I feel like especially even this modern era with social media and everything, I feel like the main focus should be away from what you're going to get out of entrepreneurship, and more so what you're going to give. I think once that's sort of figured out, then you're destined to succeed. You need to be sure of what you're providing rather than what you're expecting. If you're already calculating how much you're going to make, you probably shouldn't get into entrepreneurship. But if you're seeing the difference you're going to make, with us, the biggest factor was that we didn't have this growing up. And if we had it, we would have done way better. And if we had it, we would have been easily getting into university. APS score, what's that? I don't even need to calculate it, because my tutor is there and he's going to make sure that I get what I need to, follow that path in life if I want to be an engineer. That's why we ask those questions to those kids, to find out where their career is. So for me, it's just making sure that what your service or product or whatever it is you're trying to bring out is actually valuable, and we need it as a community, as a people.
I'd say maybe be ready to learn. Don't think you're know-it-all and think, oh no, my product is superior or whatever. I think, there's, especially in South Africa, at that level where you're starting, the competition levels are so much, and it's so hard to actually break out from that and scale. A lot of people think, oh no, I'm just gonna start a website. People are gonna come flocking in, but they sort of, I'm not a marketer. He's not there's many things that we had to learn along the way. So I'd say just don't, be ready to learn. There's certain things that we still struggle with to this day, that we just imparting as we go. But it's fun. I think if you have the passion for it, go for it.
All right. So entrepreneurs that come to this couch, right, that I've said before you, have always talked about the struggles of funding. What have you guys experienced in that regard?
Can we be honest?
Be honest.
I sometimes don't believe it, like every month end, or if I look at my year to date. Like we said, the story, like literally, I went to my father, was like, hey, just 2,000 rand.
Right.
We both 18-year-olds.
Yeah.
You just he's starting a company.
The annoyance of your father, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's like, to start a company, just rather tell me the truth. What do you really want to do? He has the same story, but we managed to pull that together just to have somewhat of professionalism, in the sense that, okay, we actually have a website.
Some fun,
We felt good, and literally organically, we only really started talking about the funding side of things 3-4 years in, like literally recently now, where we're thinking, okay, we have these big plans. But what I like about it is what we've created is the infrastructure. We have that experience. So we're telling funders, we're telling people to say, hey, listen, you're not just buying into an idea. This thing it's happening. It's been running for 5 years. We have the expertise. We understand our tutors in and out, all our systems in and out. There's nothing that, when we used to when we used to go to clients and that ask us certain questions, we'd look at each other and just be in awe or be in shock. But that doesn't happen anymore. So now we had the phase where we looking at, the large sum of money or whatever. But to answer your question, funding wise, non-existent.
$2
South
grand
Africa.
each to start the company. We had to go ask for it. We got it, and then
and that's been your journey ever
that's
since.
been our journey
Okay.
ever since.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful journey.
Yeah.
Don't forget it.
We never forget it. I mean, he just, sorry to, put your news out there, but he just got a very nice car for himself now. And whenever that happens for us, I always think to myself, my goodness, dude, that little meeting in
McDonald's.
Just, business plans.
I'm sure your parents are like, I knew. What along?
As he says it, it's a very funny story.
Literally.
We sat in McDonald's. He said we calculated, we asked for the quotation. We didn't have enough money. We were 18, 19.
What, a one-page?
A one-page
business plan.
business plan. Yes.
It never happens that way.
Yeah. And then eventually everything started to flow. So that's why we didn't pay ourselves for the first 2 years to build the capital, to say whatever's coming in, we need to put it right back into the business. And that's how we got to where we are now, where things are looking up.
Moving for themselves.
Moving for themselves.
Lovely. Okay. We are tutors. When somebody goes into your website, talk me through the process from start to finish until I am booked with a tutor. How does it work?
So obviously there's what do you call them, call to action buttons. Yeah. So you can either just sign up straight from the website. So become a student online, in person. Then we have, like I said, our consultant will call you from there.
Okay.
Then it's just the simple process of just booking in a free virtual consultation. We will ask, tailor-made questions, and we'll use that information to then, out of our team of 500, get a tutor for you. All right. Once we have a tutor for you, we'll let you know. Also, fastest turnaround time in the industry. We know companies that will have you wait for 3-4 months. We keep it to 3 to 5 working days. How we've achieved that is we have an in-house tutor manager and trainer and recruiter, as well as the partnerships he was speaking about earlier with UNISA, educational faculty, as well as Varsity College educational faculty, and other relationships we have with such institutions. Just make it easy to go and find,
the right people,
the right tutor for the right student.
Okay.
And then from there we link you to your tutor, and then you just build every session.
All right. Do I have a different tutor for different subjects? Also, a host of teachers, basically.
So we have this thing called a full academic scope, where if you want us to help you with everything, usually from the younger grades, because as they get older, obviously they specialize. With that you get one tutor, but you might find some parents we know the usual suspects: the maths, the physics, the Afrikaans, the Zulus nowadays. For maths and physics, we more so want you to have the same tutor, and this is just the in-house thing. Parents would even say, no, I want different tutors. We would say rather go for one tutor, because in our experience, those two subjects speak to each other so much that you don't want different voices there. But again, it depends on what you're looking for as a customer. So if you want an Afrikaans, you probably be a different tutor than the maths, than the geography. But we try to limit it to as little people as possible.
Okay. And are you finding that parents a little bit difficult?
But nowadays, actually, because when we started was like 4 or 5 years ago, so
they were way.
So what I always talk to those guys is about like high school has changed so much, and which means the parents have changed so much. The parents we were dealing with were more like our parents in the sense that no, I want the tutor must be stern. Nowadays it's like no, please, my kid can he can look for himself. And it's not necessarily like a routine, and it's we might, like, the modern day student is a bit more flexible and free to make their own decisions.
That's definitely different.
That's shocking us.
It's shocking us.
It's translating to our tutor side as well, because our tutor base as well has also changed for the last 5-6 years. So we had to change our approach as to how
we train them, how we manage them, how we facilitate the trainings, because there's more entitlement. Things have changed. The new generation is different.
100%.
So
Different is the right word.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys 6 years in, the country in itself has gone through many things, economy wise. You guys are coming into business at a time in which, wow,
Yeah. I mean,
you know what? The reason why your parents were worried was because look at this economy, right? Rest, pandemic, inflation, all the things. How you guys? What are the bottlenecks that affected you the most, and how are you guys able to navigate them?
The best thing that ever happened to us was COVID-19. I'm telling you right now. It was the most beautiful thing. It was a baptism of fire is what I like to call it, because it really came early on in the business. I think in the first year or so, year and a half or two. And we had just started getting on our feet, we're securing partnerships with schools, and then everything just shut down.
Yeah.
So now we had to completely restructure how we did things. I remember I still have screenshots of us in Zooms overnight trying to plan how are we going to make this work. But in actuality, it did more good than bad, because it taught us how to save. It taught us how to plan for periods and seasons that are like that. So it's very easy to deal with unexpected circumstances as a result. And it also diversified our business, because we started off offering face-to-face tutoring as the only form of business, but then we went more online, and we found it worked very well, a lot for the tutor, flexibility. So that was also a nice form of business to go into as a result of the pandemic. So all the challenges that we've experienced have only made us a little bit better at what we do, and we feel we're more prepared for what can come in future.
Yeah.
And to Bule's point earlier, and to your point is, well, when we started the company, it was not necessarily about, the monetary gain. It was the passion, the love for it. So what we did is, how can we have the same quality of service as somebody offering a higher rate at lower rates? What we always say to our schools is that we just under industry standard, but the quality of service is actually over industry standard, and that has actually boded well for us, especially in the South African economy. Yeah.
So none of the other things were, and I suppose not. You guys were perfectly plugged in actually for this online teaching thing, because then the parents were going crazy at that period. So you guys were plugged in right time. Okay, gentlemen, let's dream a little bit. We are comfortable where we are. Business is doing great. Money is coming in. Buying new rice. It's nice. It's amazing. But let's look into the future. When you guys think about the future of We R Tutors, what does it look like?
I would like you to say.
I think more so school advisory. I think we get both perceptions. We get like I always say to my clients, I know your school and I know you. And what I say to my school is, I have a representative of your school at the home.
Yeah.
That's what most people don't understand is with tutoring, especially the way we approach it. Just general background info, we give reports back to our partner schools to say Bulelani is doing this, doing that. We want to go above and beyond. We don't necessarily have to do that, but the reason why we do that is because we want the school to understand what's happening in the home. Oh, Bulelani's marks dropped off. Oh no, the company says that the mom is gone to Japan for 2 months or whatever. So I think it's one of the
things is for the future. Yeah.
Okay.
Just making that overall big impact. To add to what he said with the school advisory, just being there as an option to all students so that they know that they're not alone. So beyond just obviously the tutoring, we have run programs, which are obviously brought to you by We R Tutors, which are based on how to study, curated by us, just solving the modern day students' problems, teaching them how to deal with their devices effectively, not having distractions. Kids these days don't know how to study. So we just want to eliminate the whole problem when it comes to when they get home. Are they still able to continue with their work and reach their academic goals? So when you think We R Tutors or We R Ed or whatever it is that we do, we want to be a solution to the problem that students are facing.
And then are we listing on the JS? Like, go bigger, guys. What are we doing? We're going to New York. What's happening?
Yeah, I think step one would just be to scale to the point where we have, a huge client book of schools. Again, we're the only company in our lane that looks at the school as a client and reports back, this is what's going on. So just, increasing that. Since we started the approach, we're currently sitting on, 66% of the red foods in the province. So just one more. There's just three, but just one more.
And we got all the red foods.
And we got all the red foods, but that's sort of in its pilot phase.
Yeah.
And then we found that, we have buy-in from the parent because methodology is the same. We have buy-in, from the school because, oh no, I know what's going on, in the home. So just using that pilot and saying, okay, listen, Curo, listen, Crawford, listen, Inspire Group, listen, Advitech, this is what's going on. We are here, getting that partnership or that relationship going so that we can impact as many, lives as possible. And then also another side of it is the public side, which is often neglected by us. I think we were having a strategy session and we sort of reprimanded ourselves and we kicked ourselves like, when we started it, we weren't really thinking of the kid who, has his life, dad is going to give him everything and just go to school as a formality. We're thinking about the guy who actually needs, education as a form to, get out of my situation, get
And
my
elevate,
family out of the situation. And so I think from a public side, or rather a quanta one side, educational jargon, is to see how best we can advise those schools. And, same principle, just maybe finding funding, donorship, just to make sure that, the kids in that school, can we bridge the gap as to say that you don't have to be going to a Truro or a Redham. You can be going to Reasoma High School in Soweto and still have the same level of education.
Amazing.
And we want to come in and supplement that at a big scale.
Yeah.
We've had that opportunity at a small scale. That's why we kicked ourselves, because in 2020 we ran a free workshop where we allowed students to sign up over social media. We're doing an exam workshop and they come through. Our tutors are there. They're assisting them. Then also we went to, I think, Walter Sisulu Primary in Oliver and Houtbosch, where we also collaborated with a what is that, the girls Olive Foundation, the Olive Foundation. They were doing something for the girls in that group, and then we were more so on the educational side, just to give back to the communities, just to make sure that the public side is not neglected, because like Phathu says, these people that can afford one-on-one tutoring already have everything that they need.
Yeah.
And then these people need education as their escape from poverty. So we're trying our best to obviously get also the government's ear here and there, so that we can also make an impact there free of charge, just so that our tutors on our team can use their expertise and be mentors to that group as well. Because, I mean, as we know, they need it more than anyone else.
That's all. Government. What we're saying is that we are tutors and we can make the world bigger and better. Because these schools, I think it would be such a great idea if the schools were the ones contacting you, right? It's part of their schooling curriculum. It's part of the whatever they are offering, right? So that you don't have to. Because I think it's coming. I think it's
No, exactly. I mean, I always have the conversations with him. One of our key partners is the Data Dimensions Drive. So they've taken the Blue Book. Remember, we had Blue Books at school. They've moved that online. So what that creates is actually you can manage the data easier and you can pull information from these schools. And we can see one of the things, one of the metrics that they give us is dire need children, right? And they flag it and they say red, this guy, if he doesn't pull up his socks at, this particular school, he doesn't make the year. And, in most schools, it's about 3, 4, 5. But in your lower schools, you're looking at 20, 30. That's a whole class of people who, potentially are going to be held back. And, that just causes backlogs. And just one little solution that we want to offer can, save, the school money, can save, the government money, and, just make a difference going forward. Yeah.
And put extra money in the parents' pockets. Amazing. Okay. Let's talk. You mentioned social media earlier on. Let's talk about that digital world, right? And what it's doing for entrepreneurship. Obviously, you guys, I mean, you said you're registering online. You guys put a lot of things on social media. How have you guys used social media to sort of get you guys onto the other side?
Well, social media, for me, grew A lot in the past 5 years. Again, thank you, COVID-19. So I feel like a lot more people are on their phones, and I like that Instagram and your TikToks are now search engines, and people are trusting them to find the resources that they need. So be it services, whatever it is, products, we're actually trusting Instagram to find it. So you get a sponsored ad, and then you see something. If it's of high quality, you will see it through and probably order it, because all these big brands are also advertising, which gives the platform legitimacy, which is nice. So for us, it's been a nice thing to know that you can get a parent on Instagram. I mean, more so in recent history. When we started, it was on the ground marketing, getting the partnerships with schools, physical marketing. But it's nice that parents are now on social media. Parents are listening and seeing how they can help their children or whatever service you're selling on social media. It's a nice platform. So I would say to every entrepreneur, you need a social media manager. It's
Why are you not on it?
Yeah, you have to be on it, because it's being taken more seriously by more people, which is important.
And from a business point of view, I think we also kicked ourselves because we used to over outsource it. We're not pros, but I think again, strat session, we said, listen, Bule, that's what you beyond that.
Get it
Yeah, and
done.
it's actually reaped its rewards. I think for the investment you put into it. I think if you do it right, you can just I know some people whose businesses are solely on
Purely
on Instagram.
that's all the marketing they do.
That's the marketplace. That's where people make payments as it comes out. So yeah, but we've been seeing just substantial growth there, especially from a customer base. Because we used to actually use it just for tutors, just to say, hey, if you want extra cash, blah, yada yada. But yeah, I think this month actually was one of our better months.
Yeah. We got, I think, 6 clients just off of Instagram.
Yeah,
So
amazing.
Instagram is working. A few years ago, that's not possible.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Let's talk about AI, Gus. Do you guys what are your thoughts on AI? Do you guys think it's a threat to the world of tutoring?
Someone said something very interesting about AI. That AI is not going to replace you. The person using AI is going to replace you, and I believe in that completely. That's from my side.
Yeah,
I think it's not a threat at all. I think it would more so help the students, especially more so if they know how to use it. So we just need to find a way to educate it responsibly. I just feel like it's just put out there with no rules. And that's the problem where I have an issue with AI. It's like we don't have rules for it. But that's how it is when something starts. We're just testing the market and seeing how it goes.
I think as a learning companion, it's very powerful. I always use parents nowadays are actually asking around it, and what I always say is, remember, there was once a time where people would do maths without calculators. Now, scientific calculator, Bulelani, we're in maths class together, you could, I don't want to use the word cheat, but nowadays you can get factorials from that. You can get things to the, last decimal from that. You can, upload your table, and then it tells you the data, the matrix. That in itself is AI, because there was once a time when that had to be done on paper. And now what happens is that the education system catches up. The same way it did with the calculator, the same way it's going to do with AI, and pretty soon AI will just be integrated into learning. So I don't think it's a threat at all. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Lovely. I like positivity. Just having the right information. I think people look at it as a scary thing, right? A scary unknown. But if you talk about it more and you guys get insight from it, it's actually a tool that you can utilize to learn and to empower and to help you add on to what you're already doing.
Most
Lovely.
definitely.
Okay. If people are looking to book you, how do they get in touch?
So there are multiple ways to get a hold of us. Our number is 011-593-2527. You can also contact us on WhatsApp. Website directly gets you to our WhatsApp as well. You sign up on the website as well. Tutors also sign up there. So if you're looking to also empower students, you're passionate about teaching, you're a teacher yourself, you can teach after school. It's very flexible. You can teach on the weekends. And it is a nice hobby beyond everything else, like just the money factor. It's a nice hobby to be part of a kid's academic career. So that's what I always say. But yeah, call us, email us, info at all the details are on the WhatsApp, social media, whether Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn,
Olovale.
Yeah.
Love it. Okay, last question.
Mm.
Knowing what you know today, would you do it all again?
Some days like yesterday and today. One day,
One day.
one day for me, you know.
For you, yeah.
But not every other day of the month. Yeah, definitely. The nice thing is I'm doing it with yes, my business partner, but somebody who I've known from 14. That's quote unquote my best friend.
Best friend, yeah.
So
That would have been awkward if he didn't say.
Now the relationship grew massively. It's so nice because I mean, beyond like the relationship I have with this man right here is so seamless. And I feel like if anyone is going into entrepreneurship, everyone thinks they need to be a big boss and be alone, and run the whole ship alone. And I could not have asked for it better to have our second half, a person who knows what I don't know, who can help me, and I know what he doesn't know. And it has allowed us to grow as much as we have, and our friendship has only grown from it. Handling disputes and being able to be in two places at once is also